Hey guys, this is Shamal from Team PGSC, and today we'll be continuing with episode 3 of Infernoble Knights versus the World. So, I was thinking just to make things easier for myself and so that I'm not spamming our channel, I thought I'd do 2 episodes a week. So, last week we had 2 episodes, and now we're on episode 3. And yeah, let's get into it. So, same deck list. I definitely want to cut it down a lot, I think, from my recent replays that I'll show you in a second. Some things are really good when they work, but some things are just, I feel like it could be a lot more consistent. So I might end up cutting it down to around 40, 44, around 45 maybe. But I don't want to go greater than 45 if I can help it. So let's get into the games. So firstly, we're up against Infernoble Knights. So I've opened Ash, Red Layer, Talents, Hornet Drones, and Sublimation. Now this is a really, really good hand because um, the red layer plus Sublimation Knight means that even if this gets Veiled, I can carry on playing. If it gets Ogred, yeah, obviously then it's a bit, yeah, it's kind of annoying, which is one of the things I wanted to mention, actually, having red layer and Hornet Drones. It kind of, they do kind of clash, but I guess it would be the same thing if I had two red layers, which I'm thinking of doing. So again, it depends on how I'm going to be going around playing it. Because, for example, if I was to have a red layer and I summoned that and then I summoned the Sublimation Knight but didn't use the effect and I went to Isolde and they ogred it, then, for example, I'd be able to, um, summon my second red layer if I was out of monsters. If they gammaed me, I could summon my red layer, then activate talents and steal their gamma and go into my Alky Fabrics place. So there's different things to think about. And I'm up against Noble Knights, which, yeah, he's open 2 Renaud, the Brick, Ghost Ogre, and Heritage Chalice. So this is full combo through one hand trap. If he plays it well, can be through 2 as well. But again, it depends on how he plays it out. So let's see how it goes. So he does win the die roll, so I'm probably going to get hand looped unless I ash at the right time. Now, I didn't ash this. You don't almost never want to ash that. I mean, in this case, it would have been all right. He would have still had combo, but he wouldn't have been able to go any further, I guess. But it's important to note that Heritage Chalice should not be ashed because they could have already all opened combo, which is why I didn't. You almost always want to ash Isolde's second effect if you can help it. Now he'll normal summon the Ogier. I say yes. So again, this helps him get to the Gearfried, but if he's already opened the Gearfried, then I'm kind of wasting my ash. I've only got one hand trap, so I need to play it safely. He does get the Gearfried engraved, but I've noticed that he hasn't actually got an equip spell yet. And normally when people do this play, they get the equip spell somewhere first so that they can summon the Gearfried with the equip spell. If he was holding it back, hoping I wouldn't ash this, then yeah, touche. But he summoned Renault first, so I'm like, okay, he doesn't have his equip spell. He adds Gearfried to hand, goes into his old play. Now that's where the Launzelin is better because the Launzelin gets you to your equip spell if you don't already have one, so you don't have to waste one of your Isoldes. If it does get ogred, then yeah, sad times. But if this gets ogred, then also sad times because again, you don't have anything on the field and he can't summon anything at the moment. So I would say Launzelin would be better in this case. So he has the red layer, so I'm guessing he's going to do the Gemba play. Of course, I don't know, he already has it in hand. He uses the effect to send 1, and he's not used Renaud's second effect yet to add from graveyard. Oh no, he already has. So yeah, okay, that's just weird. Oh, okay, never mind. I think what he was trying to go for here was he summons Fireflint Lady, and Fireflint Lady can summon out the Gemba from hand. So got thinking on his part. But obviously, I'll have to ash. Then he banishes it to summon Gearfried. Uses Ogier on Gearfried. Okay, and he just passes turn. So he's got an Ogre, he's got a Monster Negate, and this can't be destroyed by a card effect. So, I mean, I think I can play around that, especially with triple tactics talent. I can just steal his monster. I can steal his Isolde, actually, if he attempts to negate something that I have. So I'm going to go for the Hornet Drones. Then I'll normal summon and use his effect. Now he's going to Ogre that, which is what I said before. If that happens, then it's not really good. But because he's done that, if he has any other hand traps, I can play around them now because I'll get his Gearfried. So that's why triple tactics is really good going first or second. So Heritage Chalice gets me my Durandal, and now I've just got combo because now I can equip, use its effect. I mean, in a way, it's kind of annoying that this is on his side, so I should have, managed to keep one of these on my side as well. But it was a bit difficult. So what I try and do here is I summon Renaud, get back the Durandal, and then I can, before I go into my Isolde, I can actually protect my Isolde from any potential hand traps. Going to Isolde, and yeah, it's just a game from here. Use Isolde's effect to send 4. Something out Oliver. I think I might just fast forward this a bit. Link Cross, something out the tokens, something Roland, something Needle Fiber, Jet Synchron. Now I went for Jet Synchron here instead of O-Lion because one of my spaces has been taken over. If it hadn't been taken over, then I would have gone for O-Lion instead, and I would have been able to keep my Aurorodon. So it's just things you have to play around sometimes. Yeah, and then he just scoops because, yeah, it was my first time actually playing the mirror, which was quite nice. Then next one, he decides to go first again, obviously. This time I've opened 2 hand traps, which is quite nice, but I don't have combo, and I've opened the driver, which is kind of annoying. So I can't actually remember if I won this one, but let's have a look. He's opened Chalice, Renault, Reinforcement of the Army, Callby, and a Chalice. So yeah, he's got a combo through 1 hand trap, which isn't Gamma or Nibiru or Imperm. So this time I'm just gonna Ash because I think my mindset this time was that I'll try and bait out something, and then if he does get into the Isolde, then I can negate the Isolde. So I try and Ash that. He does nothing. He just leaves it. Could have called by the Grave, but he decides not to do that. So he normal summons. I'm thinking, okay, even if he does, he'll lose life points. He'll get information from my hand, but that's fine because he won't be able to do anything with that information. I think the Ash was a bit premature. So he decides to look at my hand. I've got a driver. He's got no monster with more attack, so he just loses 500 life points. Goes into the Isolde. Uses the first effect to add Gear Free to hand because he knows his second effect's not going to go through, so he's preparing for the next turn. He sets 2 to the grave, and I have to, imperm that. He sets his call by and passes. Now, if he had called by the Ash, I think it might have been better, but I think he was expecting an Ogre of some sort. Or something that could negate his Isolde, which wasn't an Imperm, which is why I'm kind of thinking of putting out Callby in my own deck because Gamma and Imperm are a lot more prevalent. Anyway, so I normal summon my Squeak Knight. You always want to see it, don't you? Then I Durandal. Now, if you had something annoying, if you had an Ogre, if you had any hand trap, which wasn't, I guess if this wasn't Imperm or whatever, then I would have been fine because I can just steal his Isolde with the talents. He already knows I have it in hand, so. But he doesn't have any hand traps anyway. Durandal, adding Renault, adding back the Durandal. I love this interaction. Then I would go for my own Isolde, use the first effect. Now I don't mind if it gets Ogred again because again I have the triple tactics, so I can take his and use the second effect. I add my own Gearfried, use the second effect to send 1, 2, 3, 4 to summon out Oliver. Some Link Cross, go forward from there. So he can't really do anything again. If he wants to call by the grave something, he can. Now again, like I said, because I don't have an extra monster, I can just summon the O-Lion straight away. So Chain Link 1, more Chain Link 2 Lion. So I don't know why he didn't call by the grave there. He must know something I don't. Oh, okay, never mind. He did. I think I should have said the target, to be fair. Yeah. So no mistakes really there because I can just carry on playing from here anyway. So, I can't see my own extra deck. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I would go into my Coral Dragon and I'll get rid of. Okay, I don't get rid of it. I thought I would get rid of his Isolde just because, it's not. I could have discarded the driver to get rid of the Isolde and attack directly. But I guess in my mind I was thinking something slightly different. Where I would draw here, then use the Oliver effect, Divine Sword. That was it. Yeah, because I knew the token would stay there because I don't have access to my Roland anymore. So I thought I'd just pop it using his effect rather than wasting a card from my hand. Even though it's not really wasting because driver doesn't really do much in the hand, but I guess having advantage is always good just in case I have to discard for something later on. So I would attack for 21 and 3k, main phase 2. So this is a thing that is actually quite important. So I say Roland resolves, he says no, bro. And I ask him why, and he says called. And I told him that it doesn't activate in the end phase, and because it's already been activated during the turn, its effect doesn't get the resolution doesn't get negated in the end phase. So for example, if I had Abyss Dweller and I used the Abyss Dweller effect, then he used something to get rid of my Abyss Dweller, then he called by the grave the Abyss Dweller, that wouldn't negate the Abyss Dweller's continuous effect. So because the effect has already been activated, then because call by the grave says as well as the activated effect and effects on the field. So it's not an activated effect anymore. It is already activated. It's just trying to resolve now. So I continue. I add the connector for next turn. Charles equips that, and I can just get rid of his Gearfried. And Renault needs to be special summoned, so he normal summons it, and I don't know why he tries to use the effect. It says special summon, it says GG, and that's the game. So it's really good, yeah. So the mirror, as you saw, I mean, I guess because I opened Imperm, Imperm is really good against this deck if you don't open extenders. But I also had the triple tactics. You've also seen how good this card is. So yeah, so it's pretty good. On to our next replay. We're against Stun, Barrier Statue Stun. So he's going first, which is obviously annoying. He's on 517 rating, I'm on 504. I should mention these more often, but I feel like if I just mention at the end what rating I was, it's probably better. 517, so yeah, it's all right. 504 again, it's all right. Okay, and he's won the die roll, and you don't want to make them win the die roll because it doesn't set up loads of back row, and you know how this deck does against back row. Anyway, I've opened Sublimation Knight, Callby, Gearfried, Ogier, and Heritage. So Ogier plus Heritage means I can get the Gearfried live quite early. But obviously, I don't know I'm playing against Stun. So he goes for Duality, Border, Warning, Raigeki, and I'm just thinking to myself, please don't summon Border, please don't summon Border. But he does it anyway. So he activates Cauldron of the Old Man. Loses 300 life points. He sets the Judgment. He passes. Now this, what a draw. So Alpha Dude here, again, amazing versus back row decks. I can just get rid of the Judgment for free if he allows my normal summon. Go ahead. So I normal summon Ogier. Obviously I can't use the effect. So I use the effect of Alpha Dude here to get rid of the Judgment. Then I Heritage Chalice to get Durandal. Use Durandal to get Renault. Now, I still can't activate any monster effects, but his special summon effect is not an activated effect. It just says if you control a fire warrior, you can special summon this card from your hand. There's no colon, semicolon, or anything, so you don't need to worry about any activated effects. So I summon Isolde, use Alpha Dude his effect so I can equip it back. Oh my god, I love this. I love the interaction. Because you can do Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, but I chose not to use the Chainlink 1 of Isolde at all because I was thinking of summoning out Gearfried, and that way I can get rid of the border. Otherwise, I can't get rid of the border, and I've just wasted my monster effect because his summoning condition is a monster effect. So I use that to banish the Durandal, attack over the border, and we're in the driver's seat. And then Ogier will target him in case he tries to do something. Then I can use a second effect, send for, and then I can just go ham. So this should be in the grave now. But yeah, you've seen this a million times before, so. Summon out Roland, summon out Needlefiber, Jet Synchron, Aurodon effect. Summon out Olion Marcher, summon out Roland back. Okay, so I could have destroyed his Cauldron of the Old Man with my Cold Dragon, but I wasn't really worried about it. I didn't really want to discard any of my cards. I'd rather keep the Call by the Grave for another border if he summons it, even though it won't really matter too much because I've got two big monsters. And I'll get to look at his hand anyway during the end phase. So I draw into an Ash, which is again amazing draw. So everything seems to be working out. Roland resolves in the end phase. And Ogier equipped, Grenade equipped, and I'm looking at his hand. I'm like, okay, I can get rid of his monster. I don't really care about that. He needs another monster to be able to equip. And if he does normal summon a monster, I can just pop it with Charles. So I just get rid of his Barrier Statue. He does draw another Barrier Statue, which is quite lucky for him. But again, it doesn't do much. It's because I have a negate and a pop. That's game one. Game two. He decides to go first again. This time I open Phoenix Blade, Aquadolphin, Dark Ruler, Hornet Drones, and Charles. So Dark Ruler, obviously, if he has a Barrier Statue or something of the sort of border, I can just negate that and then carry on playing. So I've got a combo. I can look at his hand as well if I really want to. Discarding the Phoenix Blade, and then I can get that back. So that's why Phoenix Blade is really good. He's got Judgment, Sword, a Statue, and Demise broken. Sets 3, demises, draws a monster, strike, and lightning storm. Wow. Amazing. So now I get the information that he is playing Fossil Diner, which is quite interesting. But he has 5 back row, and I haven't opened my Lightning Storm, which is sad. Oh, my Cosmic Cyclone. But I'm just thinking if I can just stop him, he says no. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I can just defend myself, try and get something out. So I've got no monsters. I can equip his guy, and I don't know how well he knows my deck, so he might try and negate it with something else. I'm trying to get as many negates out as possible. But I get the Ogier now. He's got 2,000 defense. That's good enough. But I decide, you know what? No way he'll have something to boost his attack. Wink, wink. But he does. So I attack into it. He activates that, and obviously, yeah, I've used my normal summon. Now he's on 800, so yeah, he's on 1,800. But again, if it would be destroyed, this goes away. And normal summon the Fossil Diner. It's not looking good for me. I'm not gonna lie, especially because he's got another Judgment and a Strike and a Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm, not too worried because he's got too many. I drew another Cold and another Dark Ruler, so that's pretty nice. But he's got the second Judgment, so I guess we both draw the Judgment. We both draw the Dark Ruler. So then I just set Aquadolphin because I'm thinking I don't want to take too much damage. Renault's got too little attack, so I'd rather save him for later. And he draws into a Warning, broken. And I draw into another Heritage. I don't know why he didn't set the Warning. Maybe he was thinking I might draw into a Lightning Storm, so he doesn't want to lose it. But I don't know. So I do the Heritage again. I use the Effective Randall. Add back an Ogier. Now I'm thinking to myself, okay, I've just got set up shop, defense. But then I was thinking, what if, because they don't have that much attack. They have 1,000 that's 3,000. I can probably survive that unless he has another one in hand. So I was thinking I'd normal summon and I'd send something to the grave, see how that works. But he happens to have the Strike, so he's on 500 life points now. Yeah, that was my bad. I definitely should have set the Ogier. So yeah, that was my mistake. Okay, game 3. Okay, if I can hand loop him, know what's in his hand, we're all good. And this is one of the reasons I want to stop playing this. Because look at this, 3 bricks. Technically 4, but this is all right. It's a good thing the Fire Warrior, so I can carry on playing anyway, but it's just... he's got Moon Mirror Shield, Fossil Diner, Guardian, Border, Judgment, so Judgment's not doing much. Moon Mirror Shield, yeah, to be fair, I can just... If I can get to Charles, I can pop his monster that tries to get equipped, and that's it. I should be game from there. So I'll get to look at his hand anyway, and I can get rid of something annoying. Randall, getting the Renault, going into that. Okay, it's just combo. Effect to send 4, something out Oliver, link cross. It's very important to know that yes, you're going against a back row deck, but if you go first, you can basically take out of their hand the most annoying card, and then carry on playing from there. If I had opened Smoke Rain, I would have been able to do it. Now I am putting him in defense because I'm afraid of, well, not afraid, but I don't want to run into Lightning Storm. Putting him in defense would not make any sense in my opinion because firstly, you can equip him with Ogier, so he's unaffected by that anyway. And secondly, he's got 200 defense, they can just run over it, and I'd rather not waste my pop on that. So if I can equip him with Ogier, I can get Oliver anyway, so he'd be safe from Lightning Storm. He has to be in attack, so I don't care much about Rorodon, but equip him with Oliver, set, put impermanence for his monsters. Gear free to hand in the end phase, and then equip him with Grenade and Ogier. Charles effect. Look at his hand, get rid of the border, because I was just thinking to myself, I'd rather be able to, I can select 2 monster effects, but I need to get rid of his monsters, because these 2 cards don't do anything unless they have a monster. And the Judgment I don't really care about, it's too slow. Oh, and he top decks the evenly. Must be nice. So he normal summons, activates Moon Mirror Shield. He's trying to bait out my Savage, so what I do is I just chain Roland, and then I can pop the Fossil Diner. And then the equip spell goes away. To be fair, I could have technically used Child's Effect anyway because a monster was equipped, but I thought give him more attack. Okay, he goes into battle phase. He goes evenly. I know the other 2 cards in his hand, so I'm not scared. And then he just shows me the rest of his hand, even though I already knew what it is, and that's it. He concedes. All right, that was pretty nice. So you can play against Stun as well, quite well. He opened not too well in game 1, not enough Solemns, but that's all right. All right, final replay. We're against numeron eldlich. And he's going first. I opened Hornet Drones. Renault, Squeak Knight, Rota, and Heritage. He's got Numeron Wall, Wakero, Ash Blossom, Pathfinder, and Numeron Wall. So this is a very heavy Numeron list. He's going first. I didn't open a hand trap, which is quite sad. He gets to add his Numeron Network to hand. Yeah, okay. Summons out 1, 2, 3, and then summons out Zexal. So he's playing around Nibiru, which is quite good. This is Wakero. I draw. In the standby phase, he activates Zexal, and I'm like, okay. Can't really do anything. I mean, I could have chained Hornet Drones, technically, but that wouldn't have really gotten me anywhere because I could have normal summoned the Winter is Old and then not used her effect and climb and attack over that anyway. So I thought, he's not got much. He's got a few cards in his hand. There might be hand traps, so I might as well just wait because the hand traps are once per turn. So the more ashes he has in his hand, the less he can activate, if that makes sense. So I'd rather not waste one ash now, basically. Technically, I mean, I can't waste it, but okay, so I set the Hornet Drones, but it's important to know that Hornet Drones is a quick play, so I can't activate it during his turn, so it'll help me survive. Activates Wakero in the end phase, draws Conquistador for turn, goes into battle phase, just attacks for 2000 and 1800, so I lose 3800. He normal summons his Numeron Wall, goes into a Phoenix, and he doesn't pop my back row. I think he just wanted to get into Grave so he can get Scarlet on the field. So in the end phase, he gets Scarlet. I draw Call By for turn. It's really good against the Ash, but again, in the standby, he shotguns the. Yeah, so technically, I should have activated this because if I draw into an Imperm, then this is then the Imperm is dead. So I should have activated Hornet Drones in his end phase. Then I'm just thinking, okay, it's time to set cards. So I set my Squeak Knight. I've got 4,200 life points, so yeah, hopefully we can survive this. I also set the Call By in case he gets the Golden Lord, so I can get rid of that. The end phase activates Scarlet, draws a Conquistador for turn, so he's got Conquistador here, he's got Conquistador, so he can just pop off. Attacks into my Squeak Knight, I'm like, okay. Attacks with the Golden Lord. I'm like, okay, I'm not dying because he's only on 1,000 attack. I'm on 700, oh my god. If this was a Wakero, that would have been harsh. Main phase 2, he sets Conquistador, so now he's got 2 Conquistadors. He banishes Scarlet for another Wakero, so it looks like it's kind of unwinnable, but sometimes the heart of the cards is with you. And I draw into the Gamma, which is, yeah, sack. It's quite nice. Main 1, he activates that, and I'm like, okay, this time no. And he happens to have the Ash, which we already knew about. Well, you know, well, we didn't know about it, but we knew about it in this replay. And I have the Call By. So, yeah. And then I chain this as well, because I won't be able to activate this once Gamma hits the field. So I banish the Ash. And yeah, over here, yeah, we're looking good now, because I know he's got the Conquistador, he must. Because he keeps saying Wakero, which means one of these two must be a Conquistador. I didn't know both were. But he can only activate one anyway, so I'm trying to bait it out somehow. I go for the Rota. Add a Neospace Connector. I just want to get rid of any hand traps in his hand, so he's got Numeron Wall. Use the effect of Connector. I then use the effect of pitching the Gearfried. Now, the reason I do that is because I can add it back with the Renault. And he uses his effect, and I'm wondering what is he trying to do. The first few words say if you control no cards. Yeah, I said you control cards. He goes, okay. So he takes 500. Then I make my own is old. Use the first effect to add red layer. He says, okay. I use the second effect to send 4. Now, I'm just trying to find my way to get into an access code to pop everything, but I need to bait out the Conquistador first. So Phoenix Blade effect to banish Squeak Knight and that. Add that back to hand. He's thinking, I'm thinking actually. And then I go into Needle Fiber now. He's a tuner, so I can go into Needle Fiber. So now the Jet, special summon him. Target Half Duty. Now, because I did send 4, including Half Duty, I can actually bait out everything in the back row. So I equip it to Connector, and he doesn't do anything. So because I targeted the conquistador, he had another conquistador. So I was wondering, wait a minute, why would he do that? He must have another conquistador. So I pop that, I use connector and the Isolde to go into another Isolde. And because it's a noble knight monster, again, they offered you to, you know, the combo, how it goes. Excuse me. Yeah, so when a monster is sent to the grave, the equip is destroyed. And he wasn't believing me, so he said we can ask a judge. But then he said the effect was fine because there was no judge, I don't think, online at that time. He says, wow, that's sick. Yeah, he is. So I activate that. Pops it. Now, for some reason, when I declared the effect of off duty, I mean, he didn't chain this to pop my thingy so he could protect his other back row. I mean, he would have been able to keep the conquistador on field. Now I can go into my access code. On resolution, he banishes my jet. That's fine. So I use it up to destroy a card. Access code again to destroy numeron network. Add joyers. Now I can add the gear feed back to hand. So I attack into the Phoenix, but I equip the gear free. I would have equipped the Golden Lord, and that would have given me more attack, and then I would have been able to attack the game. So yeah, that's kind of like, he did Zexal me for quite a few turns, but I still managed to make it out. All right, final match. Again, it's becoming quite long, but I want to explain as much as I can if possible. So he's going first again. He opens Numeron Wall, Moonlit, Cursed, and Black Awakening. I open a Gamma, Olion, and a Reboot. Reboot's really good against Eldlich. He has the makes the same play as before. Then goes into Zexal, Eldland to add a Golden Lord. Not sure how I feel about that, because I mean, he could have kept. I mean, he probably would have had it still next turn if he was expecting it. So I don't know. If he was expecting his Zexal to go through, he would have kept this anyway. So he could have added the Golden Lord then. But I mean, maybe I would have added a, I don't know, Wakero or something, so I could summon it, and then I have these, because you can activate one per turn. So you can normal summon it and go into those plays, unless he's not playing, you know, that kind of build. But that way you would have been able to get Scarlet as well, and then search and I don't know. I mean, he's got the Black Awakening, so he can get Golden Lord anyway. Maybe he wants to go for game next turn. But yeah, no, he used the effect to get Conquistador instead, and he has that engrave. See, now this is the mistake that he made, that he's already summoned once, and Numeron Calling doesn't allow that. Now he is allowed to add it back to hand, but not special summon it. But I was being, you know, a bit nice, so I thought I'd let him keep it engrave, because it is cost to send. He activates that. I activate Gamma. He's like, okay, I've seen enough. I mean, I had a red reboot for the Conquistador. He might have negated my Isolde's first effect, but I had enough extenders to go through, especially because I had the Gamma. I would have had the driver as well. So yeah, that's it. Yes, quite fun replays. Definitely changing the list up next time. I don't know what I'll change. Maybe I'll keep it the same. Maybe I'm just, you know, overthinking it. But yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Okay, so apparently I've timed out, even though I was on it the whole time. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So hopefully you guys enjoyed episode 3, and I hope to see you in the next one soon. Peace.